I'm at Highland. This is DDW TV. We'll be here all week in San Diego. And I have the pleasure of being joined now by Sandra Quezada. Dr. Quezada is working with the AGA Equity Project. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. So the AGA Equity Project is actually something that was developed in response to the racial and social justice awakening of 2020. The AGA has already had a history of being involved in programming to support equity and diversity, but I think that time really just energized the organization and also raised the awareness that we could be doing more. And so you can think of it as a plan, really as a roadmap to guide the work of the whole organization at multiple levels, and just sort of raising the awareness that this isn't just really the work of the diversity committee. All the committees and all the membership of the organization have a role to play, and it just maps out clear strategic action items that people can take ownership of and that help keep us accountable to make sure that we're moving forward. So that's sort of in a nutshell what the Equity Project is, and I think it's important to mention that it was developed by a really diverse group of people, really a broad representation of the membership, not only diverse in terms of social identity, but also in terms of subspecialty and in terms of practice, private practice as well as academic practice. Basic sciences were all represented on that group, and so everyone bringing together also that diversity of thought and perspective and lived experience to help us really create a vision that would hopefully bring the organization forward and make it better for everyone.
With this melting pot, if you will, of diversity, how did you get involved? What did you want to bring to the table, and why did you want to be a part of it?
Well, who wouldn't want to be a part of something so exciting, right? I really was very fortunate because the timing of everything was such that I was the chair of the diversity committee when all this began. And so that's how I then was able to be invited to be a co-chair for the project. And this is just a passion of mine. This is something that I feel really, really strongly about. And, I think anyone who really has an understanding of how important and meaningful this work is would be just as excited to get involved. So, I think that just having the opportunity to really create meaningful impact for the AGA as well as for the profession as a whole is just a really exciting opportunity.
Give us some idea on accomplishments. What have you been able to do? It's a relatively short time, and obviously the problems that you're trying to tackle have been around for a very long time. So give us some thoughts on where you've taken this group so far.
Yeah, I appreciate you mentioning it is a short time, right? And we only have theoretically another year in the project timeline, but I think one thing we're understanding is we're setting a foundation now that's going to help us move forward. And just a few examples of some of the really exciting accomplishments have been the impressive amount of funds that have been raised to support research in GI health disparities, as well as research of underrepresented GI physicians and scientists, and really sort of across the pipeline, not only early career and fellows, but even pre-meds, in undergrad, just sort of building that next generation that's going to be the leaders of GI in the future, and also increasing the number of congressional briefings that we've had to raise awareness among lawmakers, those decision and policy makers that might be able to address some of the systemic barriers that have also perpetuated the disparities that we have. And
is this something that one of the recommendations perhaps will be to keep this committee going? And you said it's only got another year or so.
Right. Well, that's where we're in the discussions now. Are what does the Equity Project look like beyond this 3-year plan that we developed that was really designed to catapult us even further in our efforts around DEI. So I think that what's really wonderful about this is that all of this work has really resulted again in the whole organization taking ownership at every level, from members to the CEO, and across all the leadership of the committee. So it really has become embedded in the way the organization thinks and plans. And so moving forward, I think that we're just going to continue to see more evolution and ongoing building on this foundation that the Equity Project has created.
It sounds like a very solid foundation. Sandra Quezada, thank you so much for coming by and telling us about the AGA Equity Project.
Thank you so much for having me.
And this is DDW TV. I'm Ed Highland. Thanks for joining us.